All right, man, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to The Run with me, Manny Wilson, and I'm excited to get into this topic here because Kirk Cousins, man, as you know, he's on Netflix quarterback series for the second time. We already seen him on there when he was with the Vikings the season before he left, but now he's on there again with my Atlanta Falcons, and a lot of people are opening up their hearts to Kirk Cousins because they're like, oh, well, Kirk Cousins, oh, man, this is such an emotional story. He played through an injury. He's a warrior. He played through an injury, but yet the Falcons still disrespected him. He's been kind of throwing shots at the Atlanta Falcons staff, saying he didn't feel welcome, said he was misled when the Falcons drafted Michael Penix Jr. All of these things are being said. Now, I haven't watched the quarterback series yet because I am waiting on my partner. I'm waiting on my lady. We got to watch it together, so it is what it is. But I'll get there. I'll watch the full thing. I can't avoid certain clips and stuff, but I'm trying to be patient and wait for her so we can both watch it together and talk about it. That's why I haven't watched it yet. However, with Kirk Cousins being on this series, crying and doing all of this pouting, trying to blame the franchise of the Atlanta Falcons, oh, hell no, man. We're not going for any of that. I have zero sympathy for Kirk Cousins because Kirk Cousins single-handedly ruined my Atlanta Falcons season last year. We started off tremendous. We started off great. First in the division, 6-3. Was not losing any games. Primetime Kirk Chains, swag surf, all of that stuff. And then all of a sudden, Kirk wanted to be Mr. Macho, taking advice from Drew Brees, as he said in Drew Brees' book, who's a Saint. Come on now. What are you already done lost the mental game. You listening to Saints? Are you serious? So you take his advice, you play through this injury, we go down a slippery slope of just bad football, offense not working, you're playing terrible, 9 interceptions in 3 games, you just playing terrible, Kirk, but you kept your own selfishness intact rather than sacrificing yourself and saying, you know what, let me go actually rest, my shoulder is hurting, I'm going to let Michael Penix do his thing. You're still Kirk Cousins. You probably still would have had a position. You're still on a 4-year deal. You're still getting paid $180 million for 4 years. Like, come on, man. You ain't got no reason to be that upset. And then obviously you displayed that you had skill, but things like this, it rubs me the wrong way. And I'm sure some other owners, general managers out there for the Atlanta Falcons and others in the NFL, I'm sure it rubs them the wrong way because it's like, okay, if we do sign you or if we trade for you, Kirk Cousins, are you going to hide another injury too and just tank our team? Are you going to take us down a slippery slope of failure because you want to hide an injury and you don't want to give a backup quarterback a chance to play? Like, I understand that part of, like, you know, if you can play through it, you can play through it. But damn it, no, like, you were clearly hurt and you were clearly playing bad. And just time after time, you kept saying, I'm good. And you ultimately knocked us out the playoffs your damn self. Put Michael Penix Jr. in a situation where he had to save the season and help us out. And that wasn't even, that's not supposed to be a role for a rookie quarterback. Like, what? To save the season after you've already tanked us? So no, man, I have absolutely zero sympathy for Kirk Cousins and him feeling some type of way about the organization, drafting Penix, and also too hiding his injury. No, I have zero sympathy because he tanked my team hiding his injury. We were literally rolling. And he was playing good. So if Kirk Cousins, think about it this way, and this is kind of how I look at it. I understand he didn't want to give Michael Penix Jr. a chance to come in a game. You listen to Drew Brees, someone who was a New Orleans Saint for his whole career. I don't understand why you would even do that plan for the Atlanta Falcons. But it sounds like Saints fans got the edge over you already. So yeah, stay on the bench right there first and foremost. Second of all, if you came off that high of throwing 500 yards in the game, you had 3 touchdowns, 500 yards. You were killing it the first half of the season, Kirk. You were swag surfing, Kirk Chains, primetime Kirk. Everybody erased that narrative that you can't win in prime time. It was all of that stuff going on. You was making crazy amount of noise. If you would have got hurt, or the game that you did get hurt against the Saints, I believe it was, if you would have been like, the shoulder is bothering me, I need to sit down, I need to rest, I'm sure there would have been people still banging at your door and still trying to get you to play on the field. And hell, if Michael Penix Jr. did come out and kill it like he did in the time that he did spend playing for you, I'm sure it would have been much easier to even find you a trade because it's like, okay, it's just a shoulder injury. But when Kirk was healthy, This is what he was doing. When Kirk was healthy, he was throwing for 500 yards, 4 touchdowns, and no interceptions. When Kirk was healthy, this is what the conversation would have been completely different amongst GMs and amongst agents and amongst owners to try and even bring Kirk Cousins there. But you literally decided to just stay and do this to yourself. So no, I don't feel bad. I don't feel bad at all for Kirk Cousins that he did that. And I think it's insane that anyone does. Because he did it himself. He did it himself. I have zero sympathy. You got a big contract. You got a huge contract, $180 million. Still got time left on your contract. You literally ruined the Falcons season for being selfish. Your fault. And you took advice from a New Orleans Saint. It was all on you. So I understand, I'm personally, despite all of this stuff that's going on, of people feeling bad for Kirk, no, I'm glad people got to see that he ruined the Atlanta Falcons season. Because me as a Falcons fan, I'm over here trying to explain and say, oh yeah, the Falcons are still good. We solid offensively. We gonna be straight next year. Now that Kirk now that Michael Penix Jr. is there and all of that. But ain't nobody believing me. Ain't nobody hearing me. Because to me, we just look like the fools that was in a great position, started off hot and went down the decline. That's what we look like as Falcons fans. And that's all thanks to you, Kirk Cousins. All thanks to you. Now, this ain't got nothing to do with living situation and all of that stuff. I get it can be tough going through the injury. I on that part, maybe I'll feel for you a little bit, give you some sympathy. You've been dealing with injuries a lot in your career. That's always been a big thing. But in terms of what you did to the Atlanta Falcons, I have no sympathy in that. I hope you're okay. I hope he's good. I hope he's stable and everything is fine with his family and in house, all of that stuff. I ain't saying he's a bad person, none of that. But I'm just saying what he did to the Atlanta Falcons, I have zero sympathy. And I think the Atlanta Falcons will definitely bounce back. And I think we'll be straight coming up in this season because obviously everyone's healthy. Michael Penix Jr. coming off a solid season where he was able to get on the field and get some experience a little bit. So I'm excited to see what he does in a full season. Also, I'm excited that, granted, something does happen to Michael Penix Jr. where he needs to sit out for a couple weeks. Okay, Kirk Cousins is there, and we've seen how solid he was when he was healthy. So I'm not upset in that instance, and I am still happy that we have Kirk Cousins on the roster. Yes, he's taking up a lot of money, but also he's a great insurance policy at that quarterback position, especially when you got two quarterbacks who so-called have an injury problem throughout their whole entire career. So I'm content with that, and I think with the Falcons still bringing back Bijan, O-line is still pretty decent. And obviously receivers have a little more depth there. I'm okay with where we're headed. I think offensively, we'll have a very dynamic offense. Zach Robinson, he was pretty solid. He was pretty solid. So he was pretty solid for the most part, running the offense, and then new defensive coordinator as well. So I'm a little optimistic about the Atlanta Falcons and the things that we can do there. But I think the biggest question is always health. And if Kirk Cousins does get traded mid-season or before the deadline, as long as we can bring in, another insurance policy where maybe we do have a backup quarterback under Michael Penix Jr. and add some more depth on the defense or wide receiving. But I don't think the Atlanta Falcons should be in any rush. They shouldn't be in a single bit of a rush to possibly trade Kirk Cousins. Just because he's there, you already paid him, he's going to get his money regardless. And it's no reason to get him off the roster when he's your backup quarterback. And if your backup quarterback has to get on the field, at least he is solid, because when he performs. When he's healthy, he's solid. So I'm content with that. I'm content with Michael Penix Jr. Being the starting quarterback. I'm content with Kirk Cousins being the backup quarterback. The only thing I dislike is that dishonesty that was going on last season with Kirk Cousins. So all of that stuff, the dishonesty of hiding the injury and all of that, man, that's not it. That's not at all cool, man. So I'm excited though, but it'll be cool. Anyway, look, man, I'm gonna leave y'all with this because I always do the positive note. So the positive note today, it's just gonna be, go out and get some exercise. But that's just walking, But just do something to, break a quick sweat. You listen to sports all day, you watch sports, whatever. If you ain't sweating a couple of days, do something to get a good active sweat, man. That's just gonna be that simple. Sometimes that little bit of sweat that you do intentionally, it kind of motivates you to do something else in a way. Like, it makes you feel a little productive. It makes you want to be a little bit more productive. So I'm gonna just say, you ain't gotta go out and pull a truck around a block or nothing like that. You ain't gotta do nothing extreme. I ain't saying go do no CrossFit, but just, break a little sweat, even if that's cranking out 100 push-ups. Something. Just, maybe you got to just hit some push-ups, feel a good little burn in your chest or something. That's not alcohol. So I'll put it that way, man. That's going to be the positive note, and that's going to ultimately help out with just, taking care of your body. So it's just something positive there. And other than that, man, that's all I got. So I appreciate you guys for tuning in. Thursday. Thursday, I'm going to try. Oh, this is important. So before I go, and I got to clip this up too, because I need recommendations. All right. So Thursday, I'm going to try, and maybe it won't happen Thursday, because Thursday is actually very, very close, and I doubt I'm going to be able to watch all of these before Thursday. But at some point, either Thursday or Monday, whatever, at some point during this offseason, I want to rank these baseball movies, and I want to give like the top baseball movies. So just some basic baseball movies that I thought of and that I have on the list of where I'm going to rank them. And I want you to rank them first, and then I'll come back and I'll try and, put together after I've watched all of them. But I haven't seen all of them. I've seen some, but not all. So rank these baseball movies and which ones I should watch first. I haven't seen them all. I've seen some. But then I want to give a final ranking of which ones is the best top 5 baseball movies. So Hardball is 1, Mr. 3000, Angels in the Outfield, 42, Sandlot, Field of Dreams. If there's any other baseball movies that you could think of where it's like, oh, you have to watch this one to put it in the top 5 ranking, let me know. Because I want to watch them. I want to rank them and all of that, especially since we're in an off season. I'm going to do the same thing with basketball. I'm going to do the same thing with football. But it's baseball season right now. So let's do it with baseball. I'm going to try and get this out, get the clip out, and then post it, and then post my reaction of which ones I think is the top 5 baseball movies. But if you've seen any of these, please let me know which one I should watch first. I've seen 42, seen Sandlot. It's been a long time since I've seen a lot of these, though, so I do need to watch. But let me know which baseball movies you think I should start watching first in order to make this top 5 list. That's it. All right. And then other than that, that's all I got. So now I'm actually out of here. I'm leaving. I'll be back Thursday. No, I'm not going to have the list ready by I'm not going to cap. I'm not even going to cap to y'all. I will not have the list ready by Thursday. Maybe Thursday of next week, possibly. But we'll see. But anyway, that's all I got, man. So I appreciate y'all for kicking it, for tuning in, listening. If you're on a live stream, if you're on the pod episode, Spotify, iPodcast, iHeartRadio, or even if you just watch the clips on Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, anywhere. I do appreciate it. Follow us on YouTube at The Run Podcast. Hey, man, we almost... Hey, man, I ain't gonna say nothing. Look, but I would just say follow us on there, YouTube at The Run Podcast. And we'll be back later on next week. Oh, no, this week. We'll be back Thursday. It's just a slow time. So if y'all only get 1 episode a week, don't be mad, please. Just know it's slow as hell right now. I watch baseball, but it's just slow. You should know. All right. That's it, man. I'm up out of here. I'll see y'all later on this week, and so on and so on and so on.